This is a video message from Dr. Amelia Flint to Lindsay Wright for a video reflection on her assignment for sustainability, communication, and change. Hi, Lindsay. It's nice to meet you on this camera here. I want to first start out by talking about some of the things in your video that really impressed me. One of them is just how articulate you are about the things that you know about sustainability. So that's very impressive. You had mentioned a few things like economics, saying that sustainability and economics means that we have jobs that give people a purpose and a meaning in life. In that moment there, I really connected with that. It was probably the first video that I had seen that actually articulated social sustainability very well, especially through use of economic resources and care and concern for the people. You also then mentioned the social sustainability aspect, being a part of a community and an interconnected individual kind of sense there, which was really nice to see. And then finally you expanded to the environmental, and that's where you engaged your audience. So it was in those first two aspects, the economic and the social, where I noticed that your audience too didn't necessarily comment on that. But then when they did, with the environmental aspects of sustainability, you really grabbed them there and you said something to the effect of, like many of you said in your videos or in your interview, and then that was really cool because that's when someone else's ears will perk up. If they're in your audience and they hear you say those things, they finally get the feeling of being heard, and there's no better feeling than that. Wow, Lindsay is actually listening to what I have to say. That's pretty cool. A couple of pointers that I have for you. One, be sure that you are less reliant on your notes. You've probably seen me glance down a few times. I do have notes in front of me, but I do return to looking into the camera and looking at you. That way it engages you a little bit more than if I were to just read straight from my notes here. Beyond what you said to your audience already, I would strongly encourage you to continuously engage and personalize it to your audience. So I have a few suggestions for that. You interviewed Jill, April, Dalton, Jake, and Jacob. Each one of them had something to say about sustainability. Jill mentioned she has grandchildren, and so how cool would that be for you to make that link for Jill, perhaps for the first time, that sustainability matters not just at that environmental level so that we have a world for her grandchildren to live in, but beyond that, that those grandchildren will probably still want to have those social connections. And they'll also want to be sure that eventually they remain sustainable in their jobs, whatever their future professions might be. And you saw even my eyes kind of got pretty big there. I think that that's really cool. And you can kind of pick up on somebody's value when they mention things like family, grandchildren specifically. April said something that really caught my attention too. She said she doesn't know a lot about sustainability. So I think it might have been good for you to applaud her for owning the fact that she doesn't know much, because then it's really an easy and a cool way to start in on a conversation about sustainability. It's easier to talk to someone who maybe doesn't know very much than it is to talk to somebody who pretends that they know or maybe knows or thinks that they know more than they actually do. And so for April and engaging her in the conversation, her ears might have perked up had you said something like, hey, thank you for owning that you are looking to learn more about it and that you don't know a lot about it. Dalton spoke about balance, which I think really struck me, and a good creative way to engage him might have been to show that there can be this balance between these three factors of economic, social, and environmental sustainability. So those are just a few practical suggestions about ways to engage your audience. I'm glancing through my notes here really quick to see if there was any other piece of feedback that I had for you. One is more of a practical piece of feedback. I would say work on voice inflections. Show me where you are passionate. You kind of hear my voice go up and down in different places in this video. It was really hard to see that from you. It seemed like your voice kind of stayed at the same tone the whole time as you read from your notes. And so to me, that communicates one of two things. You're either super passionate about it all, or this just kind of seems like another class assignment that you have to do. So either way, I would say be sure that you are emphasizing the points that you find to be really important, engaging your audience with that smile occasionally as well, and definitely being less reliant on your notes and using those voice inflections emphatically when you find something that you are passionate about. Now, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on the potential grade that you might have received. You can check the grade book on D2L and you'll see that you got a 20 out of 20. And that's because this was meant to be a first attempt at learning how to use these skills on camera and engaging an audience. So now that you have my feedback and as we progress throughout the semester, I look forward to seeing more from you, Lindsay, on this very thing, using my feedback and the things that you learned from the textbook. So real quick, had this been an actual grade, I would have given you a 5 out of 5 for developing your argument really well. It was clear to me that you outlined economic, social, and environmental aspects of sustainability really well. In addressing the individual and group dynamics, I said there could be some room for improvement there by addressing each audience member by name. So I would have given you a 6 out of 10 on that. And the time limit was perfect. It was well within the 5-minute time limit, so you would have gotten a 5 out of 5 on that. So in total, it would have been a grade of 16 out of 20. Great first attempt though, and I look forward to seeing more from you, Lindsay. Bye.